Welcome to The Explainer. 14 weeks of fantasy football are in the books, the regular season is officially over, and wow, the playoff picture is finally locked in. So today, we're going to break down all the high stakes, the crazy finishes, and the absolute heartbreaks from the final week of the SUFL season. You know, heading into week 14, the biggest prize on the table wasn't just getting a win. Nope. It was getting that first round playoff bye. For the top teams, that bye is everything. It's a chance to rest up, maybe tweak your lineup, and most importantly, avoid a disaster where you get knocked out in the first round. So who actually did it? Who punched their tickets straight to the semifinals?
Well, it was two teams, and let me tell you, they didn't just win, they absolutely dominated. There were no close calls here, no nail-biting finishes. This was them making a statement to the entire league. Let's get into how they pulled it off. And just look at the sheer force of these wins. I mean, look at those margins. Jenks, Vodka, and OJ just cruised past the Warthogs by over 50 points to lock up that #1 seed. And the AI fantasy bot, man, after a couple of tough weeks, they just came alive, exploding for over 150 points to snatch the #2 seed. Like I said, this wasn't just winning, this was sending a very loud message.
So how'd they do it? Well, it all came down to some absolutely heroic performances. For Jenks, it was a whole team effort. You had Lawrence, Higgins, and Etienne all dropping over 20 points. And then for the bot, my goodness, they were carried by a monster. Nearly 45-point game from Josh Allen and a completely unexpected 34-point explosion from Michael Wilson. It just goes to show you, when it really matters, your studs have to show up. And they did.
Okay, so let's shift gears. We've talked about the top of the mountain, now let's go down to the frantic scramble at the bottom. Because while those top two seeds were sitting pretty, there was an absolute dogfight for that sixth and final playoff spot. And this is where all the Week 14 drama really happened.
It all came down to these two teams. Go to Bed, It's a Wrap, and the Bay Shore Buzzards. Both of them had a shot coming into the week, and unbelievably, both ended the season with the exact same 6-8 record. So what do? With identical records, how do you decide who gets that last spot? Well, it goes to the tiebreaker, total points scored over the entire season.
And this is where it gets absolutely wild. Go to Bed, It's a Wrap. They actually lost their game in Week 14. But, and this is one of the craziest things you'll ever see in fantasy, they scored just enough points in that loss, 113 to be exact, to push their season total just past the Buzzards. They literally lost their way into the playoffs. I'm telling you, you cannot make this stuff up.
And for the Bay Shore Buzzards, man, what a heartbreaking way to end a really tough season. If you look back, their struggles were there all year, really hampered by issues at quarterback, and of course their first-round pick Justin Jefferson just couldn't stay healthy. It's such a tough pill to swallow when you miss out on the playoffs by the slimmest of margins like that.
So, the dust has settled. The 16 field is officially set, and the road to a championship is laid out right in front of us. All right, let's take a look at the incredible first-round matchups we get to watch. First up, we've got the #3 seed, the Wildwood Warthogs, who, remember, were the preseason favorites, taking on our underdog story, the team that just backdoored their way in. Go to Bed. The Warthogs are heavy 9-point favorites, but hey, can the miracle run continue? And then we have the game everyone is going to be watching. It's a rematch of last year's controversial championship, Lick D's Salty Balls versus Team Used to Bees. And look at that spread. Lick D's is a razor-thin 1-point favorite. You just know this one is going to be personal.
But hold on. The championship playoffs aren't the only bracket that matters. On the other side of things, we have the toilet bowl, where 4 teams are about to fight tooth and nail to avoid the shame, the punishment, and the eternal embarrassment of finishing dead last.
Now, before we see the matchups, I want you to just focus on this number, 7. That is the incredible, almost unbelievable losing streak the Team Naj is riding into the postseason. 7 straight losses to end the regular season. So they're an automatic underdog, right?
Well, think again. In a twist that just makes no sense, Team Notch is a massive 12-point favorite to finally snap that awful streak against the heartbroken Bay Shore Buzzards. And in the other Toilet Bowl matchup, Bennies and the Jets are also heavy 12-point favorites against last year's Toilet Bowl champion, the Neptune Crack Killers. The big question is, can the Killers avoid going back-to-back?
So there you have it. The matchups are set, the favorites have been declared, and all the storylines are written. From the chase for a championship ring to the desperate scramble to avoid last place, everything is on the line. The only question left is, who's going to rise to the occasion? We'll find out next week.